Private relay already broke your attribution. AI search is the bigger blind spot. Apple Private Relay and AI search attribution for e-commerce. Apple Private Relay changed what e-commerce reports can see. Your analytics dashboard may show one neat source for an order. But the shopper probably took a messier route. Apple's iCloud Private Relay, introduced with iOS 15, iPadOS 15, plus macOS Monterey, routes some Safari browsing through two relays. Websites receive a temporary IP address instead of the shopper's real network address. Apple explains the protection for IP addresses and DNS queries in its iCloud Private Relay documentation. The reporting effect varies by browser and device. It also depends on privacy settings and the analytics setup. A session may lose IP context. It may show weaker referral information. It may fail to preserve a reliable connection between the first visit and the order. Private Relay does not erase every field from every visit. So, treat it as a source of uncertainty rather than a universal reporting switch. Private Relay makes individual channel labels less certain. Referrer behavior depends on Safari settings and the destination site. A referral can remain visible in one situation. It can disappear in another. That means treating every Safari visit as anonymous creates a different error from treating every recorded referral as complete. Consider a shopper researching a merino wool base layer on an iPhone. She arrives in Safari, reads the installation details, leaves the site, returns through a saved link, and completes the purchase after receiving a discount email. The order report might show email or direct traffic, even though the first comparison helped create the demand. That path matters because channel reports assign tidy categories to untidy sequences. The store owner sees a final click and a revenue amount, while the original comparison sits outside the recorded path. Start by comparing Safari-heavy traffic with other browser segments. Then, check whether landing pages and campaign identifiers survive through checkout. Document which fields your analytics setup actually receives before changing budgets. Preserve the first-party details that remain available. Record known limitations decide each report, and use broad movement in traffic or conversion as the decision signal. A channel label can guide a test, but it can't serve as a receipt for every influence before the order. The missing signal changes how channel reports should be read. Attribution tracking assigns credit for a sale to visits, campaigns, referrals, or other customer interactions. For a lean e-commerce team, that means identifying which recorded touchpoint gets credit and how much confidence it deserves. Attribution models distribute credit according to a chosen rule. Picture a $120 waterproof hiking boot sale. It starts with an organic product comparison, then a paid retargeting click. It ends after the shopper returns from a branded search. A last click report credits the branded result, even though the comparison introduced the boot. The retargeting ad brought the shopper back into consideration. First touch reporting gives the opening interaction all the credit. Last touch reporting rewards the final recorded visit. Position-based reporting gives the first and last interactions larger shares, then divides the remaining credit across the middle of the journey. Model what it rewards, where it fails, and when a lean team can use it. First touch, the interaction that introduced the store. It undervalues later persuasion. Use it when measuring discovery content with short buying cycles. Last touch, the final recorded visit before checkout. It hides earlier demand creation. Use it for quick operational checks on campaign traffic. Position-based, the opening and closing interactions. Its preset split can look precise without proving influence. Use it for directional comparisons across longer journeys. Channel reports work best as directional evidence. They can reveal a large change in paid spend or conversion rate, while remaining weak evidence for assigning exact credit to every order. A sudden drop in branded search deserves investigation, but it doesn't prove that branded search generated all of the reported revenue. Keep a small first-party record attached to each order or lead. Useful fields include original landing page, campaign identifier, date of the landing session, order value. Those fields give a store enough memory to compare first discovery with the eventual purchase without creating a maintenance project. 4 consistently populated fields beat a grand tracking scheme full of holes. Live workflow example. In a live e-commerce attribution workflow for a subscription apparel retailer, the team sent Shopify order IDs. First landing page, first-party campaign ID, browser family, and checkout revenue into BigQuery each night. Then joined those records to GA4 sessions. Over an 8-week review, 31% of sessions were Safari. And 18% of orders were direct heavy orders with no usable originating referrer. The team did not reassign that revenue to content by assumption. Instead, it compared Safari and non-Safari conversion, tracked guide entry orders, and added a post-purchase source question. Guide entry revenue rose 14% after 2 buying guides were improved, while the overall conversion rate moved 6%. The trade-off was deliberate. Storing fewer fields kept implementation to one warehouse table and reduced maintenance. But it meant the team could not reconstruct every cross-device path or claim a causal lift from attribution. Data alone. That limitation stayed in the dashboard beside the metrics. AI answer engines create a deeper attribution gap. Private Relay can hide parts of a browser visit. AI answer engines can hide the discovery that caused the visit. Tools such as ChatGPT Search and Google AI Overviews can summarize several sources before a retailer receives a click. The shopper gets a recommendation. The store gets only the last step. AI-assisted discovery often happens before analytics sees a session. A shopper asks an AI answer engine which leak-proof stainless steel lunch container keeps food cold. She reads a recommendation that cites a retailer's seal design. Then she searches the retailer's name and buys through a branded result. The store measures the branded search click. The original question and competing sources stay outside its reporting. The store-side sequence has several stages. An answer engine retrieves facts from different pages, compresses them into a response, and sends the shopper toward one retailer page. Analytics usually sees the final click and landing URL. But it has no dependable field for the answer that shaped the choice. A citation click and answer influence are separate signals. The citation may produce a measurable referral when the shopper follows it directly. That same shopper may search the brand, type the URL later, or return through a saved link after seeing the recommendation. A rise in direct or branded traffic, alongside stable demand, should prompt investigation into assisted discovery. It doesn't prove those channels created every sale, and a missing referral doesn't prove they created none. Campaign tags help when the brand controls the link. A tagged retailer URL can identify a promotion or partner placement. But tags can't label an unpaid recommendation that happened before the click. More parameters create cleaner rows inside the report, while leaving earlier influence unmeasured. That gap is the reporting problem store owners need to name: AI search attribution. The practical response starts with pages that state verifiable details in plain language and give useful comparisons and buyer context. Connect those pages to first-party records, such as the landing page and session date, then include order value. One article rarely changes the signal by itself. Topical authority builds when a store publishes useful material consistently around a category, such as insulation ratings for lunch containers or care guidance for stainless steel seals. Read channel trends alongside assisted demand clues and order records. The cost shows up in budget decisions before it shows up in dashboards. Private Relay separates a user's identity from the sites they visit. It does this by sending some Safari traffic through 2 internet relays. Apple describes the technical change in its iOS 15 announcement. For e-commerce teams, the important detail is simpler. Some useful context may disappear before the visit reaches the store. Missing referrers change budget decisions before they change revenue. For a small store, the effect shows up in the weekly channel report. Paid search can collect too much credit. A shopper researches through Safari and returns through an ad. Direct traffic can absorb demand. Because the original source is no longer visible, a buying guide can look weak too. Because its influence happened before the measurable visit that ended in checkout. Picture a bedding store. It's selling a $68 linen duvet cover. Direct revenue rises, while the buying guide loses tracked conversions. So the owner pauses the guide. Then writing time shifts toward product ads. The guide had been answering fabric care questions before purchase, helping shoppers feel ready to buy. Once the page disappears, assisted demand falls quietly. The damaging mistake is treating missing referrer data as proof that content had no commercial effect. Keep high-intent education tied to revenue through internal links and landing page reporting. Even when the original visit can't be identified, use 3 separate reporting views. Each answers a different management question, so the team can act on evidence instead of forcing every order into one supposedly perfect model. Reporting view: what it shows, decision it supports, observed conversions by source, orders with a recorded acquisition source. Where measurable demand is converting, branded demand movement, changes in searches for the store or product name. Awareness is growing around a category, educational first page revenue, sales from visitors whose first known page was informational. Which guides deserve continued investment? Mark unattributed and direct heavy orders as an evidence class in your reporting. That label keeps the numbers honest. It also gives the team a way to watch the share of sales whose discovery path remains unclear. For the linen duvet cover guide, review orders that entered through the guide. Branded searches for the bedding line and direct orders that rose after the guide gained visibility. Keep the guide linked to the cover and fabric care instructions, along with the related collection pages. A missing referrer creates a measurement gap, but it does not cancel the value of useful content. What store owners can still verify when the path disappears? Private relay makes browser-level referral evidence less dependable. For some Safari visits, yes. Still, store owners can respond. They can move analysis closer to the pages and products where buyer intent becomes visible. Then compare those signals before making content cuts. Page-level evidence beats a blended attribution percentage. Build an evidence sheet for each important category or product page. Record the target question. Record the source material used to answer it too. Also note organic impressions, branded search movement, assisted landing sessions, plus revenue from visitors who entered through that URL. The sheet turns vague traffic loss into a specific observation about a buying path. Evidence field: what to record, target question, the shopper concern the page resolves. Such as, does this ceramic pour-over keep coffee hot? Source support, manufacturer specifications, testing notes. Or internal product knowledge, search movement, organic impressions and branded demand connected to the category, landing behavior, sessions that begin on the guide or related collection, commercial outcome orders from visitors who entered through the tract. URL: a controlled comparison gives that sheet more meaning. A coffee retailer can record baseline visits and orders for its ceramic pour-over guide. Improve the explanation of grind size and filter fit. Then compare the movement with a similar French press guide left unchanged during the same review period. The unchanged page provides a reference point for wider shifts in demand. If both pages move together, category interest probably influenced the result. If the ceramic pour-over guide gains landings or product sales, while the French press guide stays steady, the content change deserves more credit. Customer research supplies another line of evidence. Add a short post-purchase question asking where the buyer first heard about the product. To learn more, visit heysprite.com today.